Now, what are the reasons behind this war? People are saying that, why the war escalated, why did the war happen, and is America confused? Well, United States and Israel have given reasons for the war and why Operation Epic Fury and Roaring Lion were launched. Well, in a televised interview, J.D. Vance said US officials concluded that Iran's assurances about its nuclear program did not pass the smell test, prompting President Donald Trump to authorize coordinated strikes. According to Vance, US envoys held what he described as deliberate negotiations in Geneva with Iranian representatives. The American side included senior officials such as Steve Witkoff, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and Jared Kushner. The talks were aimed at curbing Iran's nuclear program in exchange for sanctions relief and preventing a wider regional war. However, Washington ultimately concluded that Tehran remained intent on moving towards nuclear weapons capability. A major sticking point was Iran's enrichment of uranium to around 60% purity, far above levels required for civilian nuclear energy and significantly beyond the limits set under 2015 nuclear deal. Vance questioned Iran's explanation for its nuclear infrastructure. I quote, "Why are you building your enrichment facilities 70 feet underground? And why are you enriching to a level that's way beyond civilian enrichment and is only useful if your goal is to build a nuclear bomb?" He said, while acknowledging that nobody objects to the Iranian being able to build medical isotopes. Vance argued that scale and depth of Iran's enrichment facilities indicated military intent. Vance said that President Trump concluded that temporary containment was insufficient. I quote him, he didn't want to just keep the country safe from an Iranian nuclear weapon for the first 3-4 years of his second term. He wanted to make sure that Iran could never have a nuclear weapon. Unquote. According to Vice President Trump, believed that Iran's regime was weakened and nearing nuclear weapons capability, and the immediate action was necessary to prevent long-term proliferation risks. The stated objective, Vance added, is not an open-ended war, but a durable outcome, ensuring Iran cannot pursue nuclear weapons in the future. Now, what is Operation Epic Fury? Launched on February 28, Operation Epic Fury, also referred as Roaring Lion by Israel, involves coordinated US and Israeli precision strikes deep into Iranian territory. Targets reportedly include missile systems, nuclear-related infrastructure, leadership compounds. US Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth described the offensive as a generational turning point and framed it within the administration's doctrine of peace through strength. As the Israel said, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu strongly defended the joint operation, describing it as essential to protect Israel, the United States, and the wider world. Speaking to Fox News, Netanyahu accused Iran of decades of hostility towards Washington and alleged that Tehran was accelerating efforts to harden its nuclear and missile programs in underground facilities. I quote, "If no action was taken now, no action could be taken in the future." Unquote. He said, arguing that delaying would have allowed Iran to blackmail or threaten the US and its allies. Despite the escalation, Netanyahu insisted the campaign would not be prolonged. I quote, "This is not an endless war, this is a gateway to peace." Unquote.